Right. It's time from WhatCulture here. And if you checked out Ring of Honor yesterday, you know there were 19 matches. Now, I don't know why there were 19 matches, but I was thinking about it and I watched it and I'm like, you know what? Much like I'm doing now, this is going to be a tribute to Excalibur. We are going to go through every single match and I'm going to recap it for you as fast as I possibly can. Because if we do sit here or stand here as I'm doing right now and I try and tell you about 19 matches, it's not just going to work. You ready? Good. Like, share, subscribe. So the first match was Mark Briscoe versus JD Jake. Anthony Henry was out there because of course he was, and he interrupted the Dre Jiller. So eventually Mark Briscoe used the Froggy Bow to get the win instead. They did shake hands. Like, why are you shaking hands? You cheated the workhorse men because the piece on the outside was doing some interference, and afterwards Briscoe was like, I'm still going to challenge Samoa Joe. So I think we're back to that. Giving it up. We then went backstage and we had an interview with Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal, and they said, oh, we're going to beat Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre Jr. later, and we can feel the tag teams getting closer to us, the tag team titles. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't feel tag team titles getting closer to you because that's an inanimate object. People are going to hate this, aren't they? Hey, buddy. Oh,
that was great.
It took me a minute to see who it was. Brother, pleasure to meet you properly.
Nice to meet you.
We then had another match, and it was Claudio Castagnoli versus Serpentico. Now, of course, Claudio Castagnoli is a Ring of Honor World Champion. We have to ask the question, was it actually Serpentico? Because sometimes Serpentico is not Serpentico. Basically, Castagnoli's, I've gotten here, hit a massive death clothesline for the win, and this was basically a squash match. Now, while I am going to give it up, I have to say this. It was a proving ground match. You have to ask yourself, why the hell was Serpentico in a proving ground match? He never really wins. And this kind of sums up why you don't need to have 19 matches on the show. Didn't really need to exist down. We then moved on. It was Kira Hogan versus Vert Vixen. Now, this is the kind of thing that Ring of Honor does need more of. I want to see new talent being showcased because I think that's fun. Now, Vixen did hit the Blue Thunder Bomb, the least most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. But eventually Kira Hogan hit the Saito suplex and she got the win, and afterwards Athena was out there. Actually, she came during the match, and Athena was looking at Kira Hogan, and Kira Hogan was looking at Athena. And eventually Athena went up to Kira Hogan and she gave her a pie face. You have to imagine that is going to be a championship match soon. It is. So we've got to talk about it later. I'm going to give it up. It was then time to showcase some more talents. It was Carl Fletcher versus AR Fox. Now, AR Fox has been having a good week, and Carl Fletcher's been having an amazing week. And once again, if you are going to do stuff like Ring of Honor, this is what you should do. Also, well done to Aussie Open. They got signed to AEW, and it's pretty damn good. Anyway, Fox hit this awesome spinning suplex, and he hit all the cutters. Apparently, that's what I got written down here. And Carl returned with the spinning tombstone, and he got the win. Now, thankfully, it wasn't a tombstone for the top rope. So he did that on Castillo Dynamite. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to die. Give it up. The match then kept on coming because, of course, they did. It was Willow Nightingale versus Hyan. Now, of course, we love Willow Nightingale right now, especially because she just won the NJPW Strong Women's Champion, even though she wasn't supposed to. But sometimes in wrestling, that things happen. And the other problem with this match is you knew Willow Nightingale was going to win because why the hell she wouldn't win? Anyway, she got a new name for a finisher, and it's called the Babe with the Powerbomb. So I was like, oh my gosh, Willow Nightingale, you've just got even better. So please, no matter what show she's on, push her to the moon, give it up. The next match is then the Kingdom versus the Mac Attack. Now, I'm just going to give this an up straight away because the Mac Attack have got a really cool name. And don't forget, they're only friends because they're both called Mac. However, Mac Taylor and Mike Bennett, they're on a bit of a roll right now. And eventually, after they kicked out of the 3D, or something happened with the 3D, because Maria Kanellis being Maria Kanellis, we got the Kingdom hitting the Pro Temp pack on Ninja, and they got the win. I suppose it was fun stuff, giving it up. Which is when Mercedes Martinez came out and she was taking on Dream Girl Ellie. It's like, wait a minute, she called Dream Girl Ellie? That's an amazing name. Once again, though, this was just another squash because Martinez locked in the Brass City Stretch and she did get the win. Now, I'm going to give it up because it was a decent match. Mercedes Martinez came across like a monster, but you do have to give it a down because there was so many matches. We had 3 hours to do it. But once again, we had too many squash matches. Sometimes a squash match doesn't feel like a squash match. You have no squash matches, that's down. Actually, Joanne Barr was out next to take on Danielle Kamala, and apparently they just punched each other in the face. Now, Kamala then busted some more face because she hit a face buster, and then she tried to break some necks because she was hitting neck breakers. But eventually, Dan Ambrose was like, wait a minute, I don't want to lose here. She hit Uranagi. She got the 1, 2, 3. Now, Ashley has been on Ring of Honor for the last few weeks, and I think she's quite good. So once again, this is someone we should keep an eye on up. Rocky Romero then decided to come out because he was going to defeat Titus Alexander. Now, Rocky Romero has to be one of the underrated dudes in professional wrestling, but although this Titus, he looked pretty good. Apparently, he's around here from the local area, and I actually thought he looked like a pretty damn good professional wrestler. He hit a bunch of kicks, but it didn't work because Rocky Romero eventually pulled him off the top rope, and he hit the Diablo bar, and he got the win. He got a tap-out win. So Rocky Romero can get Vince of Ring of Honor, but he goes on Dynamite, doesn't get any wins, so whoever to support him, I'm giving him an up. Stu Grayson and the Righteous were then teaming up to take on LSG, Marcus Cook, and Very Morales. Now, I don't know if something has happened here, but last week Stu was just talking to Dutch and Vincent, but I didn't really feel like they were going to be a team, so then maybe this was Stu Grayson going, I'm not really sure about the Dark Order anymore. Maybe I should join these guys instead. However, halfway through the Dark Order did come out, and they were looking at Stu Grayson, and Stu Grayson was looking at them, but eventually Stu Grayson did hit the move I can't remember the name of, but hey, it's that movie, I genuinely can't find it in my notes, but he got the 1, 2, 3. Now, the reason I do appreciate this is because Ring of Honor does need more stories, and this is a story, even though sometimes it doesn't make any sense. It's 2 + 2 = potato. However, because he has come back and we are doing this, giving it up. We then went backstage again, we had an interview, and this time it was Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre Jr. They're definitely not friends, because they kind of had some animosity between them, and Joe acted like he was going to attack Zack Sabre Jr., but he didn't. But never forget, when it comes to Zack Sabre Jr., Samoa Joe, they absolutely rock. When we got Shane Taylor versus Tracy Williams, and these are just 2 good wrestlers doing 2 good things, and they kind of punched each other like they both owed each other money. That doesn't make any sense, because if they both owed each other money, surely that would balance out, and nobody would owe anybody any money. Shane Taylor eventually hit the pile driver, got the 1, 2, 3, and especially with Shane Taylor, even though he is synonymous with Ring of Honor, I would find a way to put him on Dynamite. I think he has something different, and I really enjoy his work up. However, at this point, I am going to throw another down in there, because again, I know I've said it once, but I'm going to say it twice, maybe I've said it 32 times. Ring of Honor just needs more stories. And I know it's always going to be hard to do it on this show because again we had 19 matches, but I need a little bit of an angle, I need a bit of narrative, I need a little bit of planting of seeds, so there's you down. Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena was then taken on Promise Braxton, and of course this was a proving crown match, which has been Athena's thing recently, and you do have to say if you're going to pick an MVP for Ring of Honor since the start of the year, you would pick Athena. Now once again, you knew she was never going to lose here, and she did win after she applied that Cobra Clutch thingy, but afterwards Kira Hogan came out, and they looked at each other, but then Athena pie-faced her once again, they got into it, so Kira Hogan was like, haha, you've been throwing people into the Ring of Honor Women's title recently, so now I'm going to do it to you. So she did do that, and she left, and later on Athena was in the backstage. She was like, oh, I'm so mad about this, so now we're going to get a title match next week. Now, that doesn't really make any sense. Do you think eventually Kira Hogan would have to win a #1 contenders match, but she didn't? We're going to get the championship match, but again, Athena was so damn good, giving it up. It was then Dralistico versus Tony Deppen. This is the oddest match because where did it come from? However, this is probably the best that Dralistico did look, and Tony Deppen will always give you a reliable match. It was also a great powerbomb pump kick reverse that I did enjoy. Then they started chopping each other because why the hell wouldn't you? And Deppen hit all the German suplex Scudentag, but eventually Dralistico got the Les Mystica and he got the 1-2-3. And if I was going to give this little thing to sum it up, I would call it unexpected treat up. Within backstage, and Nick Comoroto was here, and of course he's my friend, he doesn't like me because I'm bald. He said that Blake Christian was generic, and also said, I'm quite proud of myself because I don't look generic and I look like some kind of a beast. And once again, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? It was then time for Sky Blue versus Miranda Ellis, and I tell you this, Sky Blue is getting massively over. We saw her on the Dynamite tapings on Wednesday, and everybody cheered. So you always knew that she was going to win here, which she did. But get this right, she had the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment surprise roll-off that didn't work. So all she did was say, hey man, I'm going to do it again. And she had the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, and she got the 1-2-3. So you have to ask yourself, why didn't she do it the first time? There is no answer. However, again, Sky Blue, she's got the momentum right now. She could be on a run. She giving me a champion soon. Up. It was then time for some flippy shit because it was Darius Martin, Action Andretti taking on Cole Carter and Zach Clayton. Now look, Darius Martin and Action Andretti are actually a really good team, and this was just ridiculous. It was go, 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 move, 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 fast, 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 do a flip, do a flip. And at one point, Andretti did this silly tornado splash, but unfortunately, he lost his springboard footing, and that's when Carter attacked, but it didn't work. So Martin actually a pendulum swing for the win. Now they are a good team. When Dante Martin come back, I want to see Top Flight do their thing again. Don't really know what we're doing with Action Andretti right now because obviously he beat Dick Jericho, but right now he's kind of a little bit aimless. But still, look, in terms of match, it was good. Up. And then eventually we got to Blake Christian versus Nick Comoroto, and Nick Comoroto made a massive whoopsie because he lost it. Now it was speed versus power, but eventually I can't even remember what happened. Oh yes, I can. I've got it right here. Blake hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. He got the 1-2-3. Now I enjoyed this because Nick Comoroto actually did a good old big old man, whereas Blake Christian was all like, oh my gosh, I'm so speedy, so I'm going to give it up. However, when you've got 19 matches, you do not need to do two most devastating moves in all of sports entertainment. Sometimes it just felt like we don't know what to do the finishes, so that part gets down. Which brought us on to Diamante versus Trish Adora. Now I do have to say, Diamante won this, and she won them with the Cobra Clutch kind of a thing. They looked a bit like Athena's Cobra Clutch thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, why are we doing two different finishers? They kind of look like the same finisher. That didn't make any sense. I've totally lost my mind here. However, as I've got written down here, we should do more with Trish. I think she's good. I'm going to give it up. Which is when it was Penta versus Slim J, because the Trust Bosses have to be on every single Ring of Honor show, and all I'm going to tell you is this. Penta is one half of the Ring of Honor World Champions, Tag Team World Champions, I should say. Of course, he was never going to lose here, so eventually, Slim J made a mistake when he tried to springboard. He was able to springboard. Penta hit the Fear Factor 1-2-3. I guess I give it an up, but you have to ask me once again, why did this match even exist? I don't know, just because there was 19 matches. I don't want to push the point here, but you do have to give that a down. I think this would have been better if we'd done, I don't know, about 12. When we did get to Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre, they were taking on Daniels and Sydal. This was so damn wonderful because there was so much history here. And really what we do need is a Matt Sydal versus Zack Sabre match, because when they did go one-on-one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. I'm just going to tell you what I got written down here. Joe is still awesome. Christopher is a legend. Sydal got a great hot tag. There was double submission by the good guys. Eventually Zack got to the ropes, and this is when Samoa Joe looked around, was like, man, I'm bored of this. I don't do it anymore. He locked in the Kakita clutch, and he got the submission win. Now we are still teasing that we're going to do something with Zack Sabre Jr. and Samoa Joe because they are the TV champions. And all I want to say is this: Samoa Joe, amazing. Christopher Daniels, amazing. Matt Sydal, amazing. Zack Sabre Jr., amazing. But I do have to say, by the time I got to the main event, I was like, I don't really need to watch any more wrestling. However, there's still good tag team match. We should probably do something here with a couple of stories. So I'm going to give it up. When it comes to Ring of Honor, I'm still going to give it up. But please, Tony Khan, as much as I love you, as much as I have you change the wrestling business, I think everything you do with AEW is absolutely terrific. Please never do 19 matches again because I can't handle it. What it's done is turn it into me. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. No one's going to understand this video. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I've got to go now. What am I going to do? I don't know.